Yeah. So good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Meghna, Reina, and Sana. Yeah, very good morning. So, ready to start? Today we'll finish the chapter 6, food safety and food quality. Okay, then I'll give you notes for Meghna, okay? And you can start preparing for the PPTs and all. Okay, don't read from the slides, Sana. Next time, don't read from the slide. That's the thing. You can read and then explain, or then include your viewpoints or your ideas, Reina, okay? So let's start. Before that, what is food quality? A single question. Anyone can answer. What is food quality?
Characteristics of the
Son, I can't hear. Little more louder. Yeah.
characteristics of the food.
Very good. The characteristics of food. What are the characteristics, Reina? That make the quality of that particular food item. Yeah, good. Very good. Reina.
Color, flavor, texture.
Taste. Hmm? The shape. Everything comes under this quality part. Okay. Yeah, what are the certain ways to prevent food illness? Meghna, can you try? Certain ways to prevent foodborne diseases or food illness.
Keep clean and
Mhm.
cook thoroughly.
Mhm.
Wash the vegetables before cooking.
Okay,
Then separate the raw foods and cooked
very good,
foods.
very good.
Then keep all the food or the vegetables in a appropriate temperature.
Okay, if you want, just write the slide. Okay, what are the causes of foodborne? What causes foodborne illnesses? The failure to thoroughly cook or heat food, failure to properly cool processed food, infected employees who practice poor personal hygiene, food allowed to remain at bacteria incubating temperature. Last chapter we learned about that. Certain temperature is important for the growth of bacteria, right? Before that, are you all prepared for class test? Chapter 5? Meghna, Reena, Sana? Today is the date, right? We'll discuss few questions. Okay, no problem. If you want, just write these points. Susana, cross contamination. Yes. Any idea what is cross contamination? Am I audible, Meghna?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Things, Anna. Cross contamination. Look here, cross contamination of processed food with raw item, either by workers who mishandle foods, or improperly cleaned equipment. Do you remember anything from this? Yeah. Something from the meat and all. Cut. All these are key terms. Cross contamination. Any idea? I'll show a slide. What is this, Anna? Reina's ready with her answer. Yeah.
Harmful bacteria in the ocean.
Yeah. Reina, can you help Sana? What is cross contamination?
When we cut meat on the say on
Very good.
the that cutting board, and we cut the same, the vegetables on the same cutting board
Yeah.
without
Without,
washing.
yeah. That is the thing, cross contamination. Two things are contaminated by a same material or same thing or same foodstuff. Clear, Sana? Something that is contaminated with some kind of bacteria due to the improper handling of the workers or improper handling of us. Clear? That is cross contamination. Yeah. These are the 5 key principles of food hygiene according to WHO. Who is this WHO, Meghna?
World Health
Very good.
Organization.
World Health Organization. So these are the 5 steps or 5 principles they used to prevent the food contamination or to improve
Ma'am,
the food hygiene. Yes, Reina.
ma'am, can
Yes.
you show the what foodborne causes foodborne illness?
What causes foodborne illness, Reina? That
Uh,
slide? Yeah,
yeah, I didn't write food.
yeah, you can write. It's an important portion. Usually, this is a general topic. You need to write your own, but I'm showing the slide. If you want, just write. After this chapter, please send me your notes, okay? The PDF. Sorry, that's all notes. Finish, Meghna? Can you read? So it's easy for them to write. Yeah.
What causes foodborne illness? Failure to thoroughly cook or heat, failure to properly cool processed food, infected employees who practice poor personal hygiene, then food allowed to remain at bacteria incubating temperatures, raw contaminated ingredients incorporated into foods that receive no further heat treatment, cross contamination of processed food with raw item either by workers who mishandle foods or through improperly cleaned equipment.
Reina?
Some
Make
more
it
is there.
fast, okay. Make it fast. Sana, finish? Yeah. Then you can start learning. Sana and Meghna. You just learn these points. Don't waste time. Reina? I'm changing, okay. Sana, read the slide.
Contamination. Contaminating food with pathogens can be spreading for people, pets, and pests. Separate raw and cooked foods to prevent contaminating the cooked foods. Cook foods for the appropriate length of time at the appropriate temperature to kill pathogens. Stored food at the proper temperature. Do
It is very important to cook food till it's boiled or until it's boils. Okay, that is very important. Appropriate temperature that only kills these pathogens. Otherwise, these pathogens will always remain in the foods. Yeah. Next one.
use water for cooking food.
Yeah. Do not use. Do use safe water for cooking foodstuff. So don't use these kind of contaminated waters and all. Then store food at the proper temperature. We can't store food in a room temperature for long period of time, right? So once we can use these kind of food items in refrigerator or in fridge to reduce the temperature. In this reduced temperature, the bacteria will not grow easily. So these are the 5 principles that is commonly used by World Health Organization to prevent the food contamination. Separation of raw and cooked food, that is also very important. Why? Meghna, what is the need of separating these two foodstuffs?
For cooked foods, the bacteria will be less as it been boiled and cooked. And
Because
for
we
the raw,
already boiled that food, right? So all the
yes,
pathogens or all the microorganisms in the food will lose. Yeah, next. That's the reason for the separation of raw and cooked foods. Good, Meghna. And we should follow this appropriate length of time for cooking. Otherwise, the pathogens, the microorganisms will remain in our food and it leads to foodborne illnesses, diarrhea, and all. Okay? Food poisoning, food intoxication. We learned about salmonella, staphylococcus, right? Right fast. All these things comes under the food safety part, okay? Not in the food quality part. These two slides belong to food safety because we are ensuring the hygiene of particular food. Try to write the key points, that's enough. Yeah, good. So let's discuss the food standards. Yeah, can anyone summarize the 4 levels of standards? As class, we discussed this. There are 4 standards. Before that, what is this food standards? Why we use the food standards? To ensure the food is free from contamination. That is the main aim of food standards. Why we are following the food standards or food laws in India. We have number of food acts or food orders in India, right? Like PFA, then FPO and all that we will discuss. Okay, these are the certain laws in India to prevent these kind of contamination, and that these laws and these kind of food standards, food labels, everything that help you to ensure the food is safe. That is the main aim of food standard. Clear? Yeah. So what are the 4 levels of standards? This portion is very important. Okay. In this chapter, this portion is very important. Yeah. Food standards. There are 4 levels of standards. One is regional standard, international standard, national standard, and company standard. These are the 4 standards. Yeah, Sana, I'll ask. What is regional standard? Simple one. Regional standard. I can't hear you.
Uh,
Yeah, try, just try. Regional, region.
in a
That's it.
particular region.
Yeah, that standard is only belong to a particular region based on a geographical area, based on the climate, hot or cold, something like that. Okay, that is regional standard. Yeah, Reina, for you. Um, Easy one. National and company standards. Reina, get ready for the next one. There are certain terms there. International
they
standard.
are prepared by company for its own use. Normally, they are um, Yes, they're kind of similar to the national standards.
Yeah, they are quite similar, these company standards and national standards, because what is the reason? Because for this company standard, they need to ensure all these laws and orders that is put forward by the government of India or by this national standard. Okay? We have a national food standard organization. So they have certain laws and all. So if a company begin to prepare a kind of label, they need to ensure all these laws or all these orders. So both these company standards and national standards are quite similar. That is the reason. Clear? Meghna, what about the last one? International standards. Who published this international standards?
Like FSSI, like that.
Yeah, there are certain organizations that put forward or help to set up these kind of international food standards. Some difficult terms. Do you remember that? Codex.
Codex Alimentarius.
Yeah, Codex Alimentarius Commission, and one more, ISO, International Organization for
Organization of
Standards.
Standardization.
These are the two commissions or two organizations that basically publish the international standards, not the national. So these international standards are published by Codex Alimentarius Commission and ISO. ISO. What is ISO, Sana? Yeah. I.
International
Mhm.
organization.
International Organization for Standardization. Very good. So, yeah. So we already learned about food standards, right? Yeah. There are two types of standards. One is compulsory standards. Another one that is voluntary standards. Okay. So why we need this food standards? To ensure the food is fit for consumption. That is food standard. That is the main aim or objective of food standard. So there are two types of food standard. One is compulsory and the next one that is voluntary. Okay? Voluntary standards and compulsory standards. The FPO. What is this FPO? Fruit product order. Okay, you just write. Otherwise, it leads to confusion. The food standards are of two types. One is compulsory standards and other is voluntary standards. Okay. The Agmark. We learned about Agmark, right? The ghee of Sana, right? Yeah, this Agmark. Then BIS. What is BIS? Bureau of Indian Standards. Yeah. Then we have an ISI mark. Indian Standard of Institution, right? This Agmark, BIS and ISI, all this comes under the voluntary standards. Okay? I hope it's clear. Okay, there is the food standards are classified into two. One is compulsory standards, other is voluntary standards. Agmark, this is a certification mark, Agmark. BIS, ISI, these three comes under the voluntary food standards. Agmark, BSI and ISI. Sorry, BIS and ISI, okay? So these are the voluntary standards. So what about this compulsory standards? We learned about certain laws or certain act related to food, right? That is FPO, Food Product Order, MPO, that is Meat Product Order. Then we learned about the PFA. What is PFA? Yeah, that we will discuss. So these three terms that comes under the compulsory standards. You just write this. FPO, MPO, PFA. At last, I will give all the abbreviations or full forms. Okay. So food standards are classified into two. One is compulsory standards and other is voluntary standards. Voluntary. So this Agmark, BIS, ISI, all these comes under the voluntary mark or voluntary standard. Compulsory, which means there are certain acts in India that is related to the food. Okay. FPO, MPO and all this comes under the compulsory standard. They are compulsory for every food items. Clear? I think it's clear, right? Yeah. So let's move on to the FSSAI. So what is the main aim of the FSSAI, Reena? As class we discussed, right? This FSSAI. FSSAI, that means Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. That is FSSAI. This FSSAI that comes under an act in 2006. What is that act? Food Safety and Standard Act. Is that clear? So according to this Food Safety Standard Act of 2006, this FSSAI is emerged. Okay, so the main aim of this FSSAI is to consolidate all the acts and orders that is related to food and related issues in India. Okay, so this FSSAI is an act that comes under the Food Safety and Standard Act of 2006, and the main aim is to consolidate all these laws. Clear? These are the common laws or act that is available in India. Okay, so the main aim of this FSSAI is to consolidate all these things. Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, FPO Act, MPO Act and all. Okay. So look, all these acts that comes under the compulsory standard, sorry. So all these acts that comes under the compulsory standards. Clear? So food standards are classified into two. One is compulsory standards and other one is voluntary standards. So which are the compulsory standards? Read from the slides, Anna.
Prevention of food adult
Yeah. Read.
fruits products order, then meat food products order, vegetable oil products order, edible oil packaging order, solvents extracted oil, de-oiled meal and edible flour order.
Clear. So all these orders or act that is related to food that comes under the compulsory food standards. Compulsory food standards. So PFA. What is PFA? Any idea, Meghna, what is this PFA means? Yeah, this is little confusing, right? You just write. First write IFS. IFS. We are writing the full forms. IFS. Sana, your turn. Yeah. Give me certain words. IFS. And fill. Yeah.
International
Very good. FO.
International Food
Very good. That's right.
System.
No, it's standards. So international food standards. Right. International food standards. IFS. International food standards. Okay. Next one. It's your turn, Meghna. PFA. What is P?
Prevention
Very good. That's right.
of food adulteration.
Very good. It's Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. PFA. Right. Naina, please write. Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. That is PFA. Okay. Next one. BIS. Reina. BIS.
Bureau of Indian
Very good.
Standards.
Very good. Bureau of Indian Standards. What is the spelling, Meghna? Bureau.
B
Hmm.
E
B.
E
Hmm.
U R E
URE.
A
Okay. Reina.
B U
B.
R
Yeah. BUR.
E A
Hmm.
U.
Okay. That's the right spelling. Bureau. BUREAU. So BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. I means Indian, S means standards. Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS mark. Okay? BUREAU. Try to learn the spelling. Next one, that is FPO. Sana, your turn. It's easy. FPO. Make it fast.
Fruits,
Ah, very good.
fruits products order.
Yeah, very good. That's it. Fruit Products Order. FPO. Make it fast. Fruit Product Order. FPO. Next one, Meghna. MPO.
Meat products order.
Very good. Meat Product Order. So FPO, that is Fruit Product Order. MPO, that is Meat Product Order. Then, Reina, what is ISO? ISO. Sana?
International Organization for Standardization.
Yeah, that's it. International Organization for Standardization. ISO, International Organization for Standardization. Okay, so what is this ISI? Meghna? ISI. This portion is very important. Okay, try to learn. ISI.
International
Hmm. Good.
Standard of India.
Very good. That's right, Meghna. ISO, International Organization for Standardization, and ISI, that is Indian Standard Institution. Okay, ISI, that is Indian Standard Institution. Indian Standard Institution. Then, last one. FSSAI. Rena. Try.
Food Safety
Hmm.
Standardization Authority of India.
Not standardization, standard. Food safety and, there's an and here, food safety and standard authority of India. Food safety and standard authority of India. Right, Reina. Food safety and standard authority of India. So what is FSSA? Sana?
Food,
It's right, Sana. Try. Yeah. Louder, please.
Food Safety and Standard Authority.
Yeah, that's it. Meghna, can you read all these things? Listen, okay.
IFS, International Food Standards, PFA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, FPO, Products Order, MPO, Meat Products Order, ISO, International Organization for Standardization, ISI, Indian Standard Institution, FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India.
Very good. Okay. So how we can classify the food standards, Reina? We can classify the food standards into two. Which are they?
Voluntary and compulsory standard.
So what are the voluntary standards and what are the compulsory standards?
Voluntary standards are BIS, ISI, marks.
Very good, Reina. What about compulsory, Sana?
MPO.
Ah, MPO, FPO, then Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. All this comes under the compulsory standards. Clear? Okay. Meghna, why we need FSSAI? What is the reason?
To
That's the main
consolidate
objective. To consolidate. Very good.
all
All the
acts and
yeah
uh,
acts and
orders.
regulations in India. Very good. So first one, that is Prevention of Food Adulteration Act in 1954, not this year, 1954. FPA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. So the only thing you have to learn, that is what is the reason of this PFA? What is the reason? It's already in that name. To prevent the food adulteration. Okay? That is the reason why we are following FPA Act. To prevent adulteration, to avoid the cheap things or to avoid or to ensure the quality of food. Adulteration. We discussed the adulteration, right? The concept of adulteration. This adulteration, that reducing the purity of an article, which means the purity of an object or purity of a food material by the addition of a foreign or inferior substance. Okay, sometimes we also remove the main substance from the food, or sometimes we add some kind of cheap substances to the food. That is adulteration. Yeah, stone to the rice. That is a perfect example for this adulteration. Okay, so why we need this FPA Act? To prevent the food adulteration, to ensure the consumer's health. Clear? Yeah. The only thing you have to learn, the aim. Yeah. To provide protection from adulteration of food that may lead to health risks. So this FPA is in 1954 to prevent the adulteration. So all the foods in India, we manufacture a number of products, right? Or there are certain number of foods that are sold in India. So all these food items should follow this recommendation put forward by this FPA Act. Okay. So by this FPA Act, there are number of recommendation by this Act, or there are number of laws or number of orders under this Act. So if we are manufacturing a particular kind of food item, we need to ensure all the requirements. We need to follow all these requirements. Then only we get this thing, FPA. You need to prevent the adulteration. Try to avoid all these kind of cheap things. That's it. Is that clear? It's easy, Reina. Yeah. Next one, FPO. Look at the symbol. The symbol is very important. This is the label, FPO. Next time, if you buy any kind of fruit products, so this FPO symbol, that is only for the fruit things, which means the products that is processed fruits like jams, squashes and all, we can see this symbol, FPO symbol or this FPO label. So next time you buy a fruit or a jam, then just refer the symbol. Okay, just research the symbol. What do you mean by the symbol and all? Or just check whether the symbol is there or not, okay? Otherwise, that product is not good for you. FPO, Fruit Product Order. So this is a certification mark. This is a certification mark, this FPO symbol. This is a certification mark that is mandatory for all the processed fruits or all the processed food products. Okay, if you're planning to start a, if you're planning to start an industry of jams or food industry like jam, you need this FPO license to start that industry in India. Clear? So we'll get an FPO license from our ministry. Then only you can start the food processing industry here in India. Okay, so this FPO is the license we need to start an industry or food processing industry in India. So what are the processed fruit products, that is the jams, squashes, everything like that. Okay, something that is manufactured from a fruit that comes under this FPO Act. Is that clear, Meghna? So the main objective is lay down the quality standards to manufacture fruits and vegetable products maintaining the sanitary and hygiene conditions. So this FPO mark that guarantee that the product was manufactured in a hygiene, food safe environment. Thus ensure that the product is fit for consumption. Clear? So we discussed about two acts. First one, that is FPA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. So this Prevention of Food Adulteration Act is mainly to prevent the adulteration in food. Okay? Next one, that is FPO. FPO means Fruit Product Order. This Fruit Product Order is only for the processed fruit things like the jams, squashes and all. And you also need this FPO license to start an industry here in India, in our country. Is that clear? Okay, so this FPO is a certification mark that we used to denote that fruit product is safe for consumption. Reina, is it clear? Okay, that's it. Rest we will discuss in the next class. Okay, I'll also read the textbook. Yeah, fine. Any doubts, Meghna?
No, ma'am.
So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.